Habitat of algae. Algae are autotrophic organisms, that is, they produce their own carbohydrate from sunlight because they have more than one type of photosynthetic pigment. So, this autotrophic photosynthetic organisms are mostly aquatic, few are also terrestrial. So in this video, I will be discussing about the various habitats of algae. Hello friends, I am Ayantika and I have been making videos of the MSc and BSc syllabus of botany. I subscribe to this channel to get more videos regarding the MSc and BSc syllabus of botany. So let's begin the video. Before I begin the video, there is a small quiz that which kelp is the world's largest source of iodine when it is traditionally used by the tribes. That is, and now we get iodine from salt, but earlier iodine was obtained from kelps. Now, which kelp is the largest source of iodine that was used by the traditionally, which is the largest source of iodine? So the kelps were harvested, and after their harvesting they were dried, and later this dried powdered kelp was used as a source of iodine, and also it has some other culinary use. So there are four options, and if you know the answer, write it in the comment section, or if you don't know, then I'll be discussing it at the end of the video. The aquatic, this aquatic algae, they can be of two type. One is planktonic, that is they are floating, and other is neritic, that is they are found in the water column. Then is the terrestrial. Terrestrial are mostly divided into two types, that is those growing on the surface of the soil and those growing inside the surface of the soil, that is on the top soil, on the surface of the soil, and those growing in the top soil, and those that is growing in the soil are Vaucheria, Botredium, Fristiella, Udogonium. All these are found growing on the surface. But those growing in the very upper layer of the soil, immersed in the soil, are Nostoc, Anabina, and Euglena. This Nostoc and Anabina, these are cyanobacteria, that is blue-green algae, and are very good nitrogen fixer. Then is the lithophytic algae. Lithophytic algae, as the name suggests, it is another terrestrial algae that is found growing on the surface of rock. Nostoc and Glyocapsa, these are lithophytic algae. And then there are aerophytes, that is these are terrestrial algae that are found, they are actually aerophytes, that is growing in the air. That is all the terrestrial algae, whether they are aerophyte, lithophyte, saprophyte or cryptophyte, all they diffuse carbon dioxide from the air. Unlike that of the aquatic algae that absorb carbon dioxide from water. Now, those aerophytes are mostly grow on the bark of trees or grow on the surface of mosses and bryophytes. Dendrophylla, Formidium, Cytonema, and Haplosiphons are few aerophytes. Among the saprophyte and cryptophytes, they can be either favoring the acidic soil or alkaline soil. Fristiella is an algae that can grow even in acidic soil. Acidic soil are generally those soil, especially for example in the coniferous forest, as the cone, leaves of the coniferous trees, they are gives very resinous acidic substrate on disintegration. So if there is any water body surrounding the water body, this Frischella will be able to grow on such acidic soil. Alkaline soil are characteristic of a dry region, especially in the tropical region, dry and arid region, and mostly have alkaline soil. So this in the alkaline soil we can see growth of Cytonema and Oscillatoria. Most of the terrestrial algae are growing either on the whether they are growing on soil or rock, they generally prefer damp area, that is where the humidity is high. Unusual algae may include cryophytes. Cryophytes are those algae that grow at even very low temperature. That is, some of them are growing even in snow. For example, we see Ancyclostoma, Ancyclonema, um, Mesotanium, and Formidium, Rhaphidonemma, Scotella, and Trachyschia. Here we see that this Chlamydomonas nivalis and Haematococcus nivalis, they cause the red snow, and this Chlamydomonas yellowstonensis, they cause green type of snow. Likewise, there are also other species of algae that may cause blue coloration of the snow, brown coloration of the snow. So various, if we see the colored snow, whether red, pink, brown, and then green, all these are due to the cryptophyte algae that are growing on the snow. Algae can also be growing at a very high temperature, say for example 70 to 80 degrees C. Such extreme high temperature growing algae are called thermophytes, and Haplosiphon lignosum, Heterohormogonium, Formidium oscillatoria, Terebriformes, Oscillatoria brevis, and Cyanococcus elongatus and Cytonema. These are algae that are thermophytes, that is growing at a very high temperature. Halophytes are those algae that, whose habitats are have a high amount of salinity. For example, Dunaliella, Phenoptera, Chlamydomonas ehrenbergii, Rivularia, Glyocapsa, Ectocarpus, and Polysiphonia. These species of algae, they are tolerant to high salinity level and are called halophyte algae. There are also other unusual habitat of algae. For example, algae growing epiphytically on other plants, especially water, those submerged aquatic plants, that they can be growing on other algae, or they can be growing on the leaves and stems of angiospermic plants. For example, we see that the Coleochaete nitellarium, this species of algae, grow on another two species of algae, the charophytes, that is Chara and Nitella. Then again, Chitonema, it is found to be growing on the thallus of another algae, Tetraspora and Batrachospermum. Chaetophora also is found to be growing epiphytically on the leaves of angiospermic plants, Nelumbo and Vallisneria. Nelumbo and Vallisneria, they are both aquatic plants. Vallisneria is submerged, and Nelumbo, these leaves of the Nelumbo, they rise to the surface of the water, and the Chaetophora are found to be growing submerged in the leaf stalk or on the leaf plate. Rivularia, it is an algal species that is found to be growing on another aquatic angiospermic plant, the Screpus. There are also other unusual habitat for the algae, that is endophytic, that is growing inside the growing inside the living organisms, that is Cladophora, Protoderma, Basicladia, Stegoclonium, Nostoc, Anabina psychedarium, Anabina azola, Zoochlorella, Zooxanthella, and so these type of algae, they are found to be growing inside the shells of bivalves, or on the back of the turtle, and on the snails, on the scales and gills of the fishes, and on the thallus of azola, the water fern. They are also found to be growing inside the respiratory and digestive animal tract of marine animals or water animals. Parasitic algae. Algae can be also found to be growing parasitically on angiospermic plants. For example, Cephalourus virescens, Cephalourus parasitica, and many other Cephalourus species of algae. They are found to be growing on tea, on the leaves of tea, coffee, Neoregilla, the other bromeliads, and angiospermic plants, especially the ornamentals. And so these Cephalourus virescens, they mostly not only Cephalourus virescens but also other parasitic algae, they are found to be growing on the mostly on the leaves, but you can also find Cephalourus growing in other parts of the plant, but commonly they are found in the leaf region. They grow intercellularly inside the plant tissue. Earlier in the previous slide we saw that the algae, they were growing inside the organism, but they didn't cause much what to say, any other disease. So these parasitic algae are dependent upon the host species for their food also. So, and they cause some type of disease, especially red rust of tea, coffee, red rust of other angiospermic plant also. So these Cephalourus, Phylosiphonia fasticata, they are parasitic, that is they are dependent upon the host for not only their habitat but also their source of food. Earlier, in the earlier slide, it was those they were dependent upon the animal for just the shelter, and they were not nutritionally dependent upon the host. And this in this slide we are discussing the parasitic, that is they are nutritionally dependent as well on the host plant. Apart from that, we have symbiotic association. In this type of habitat of algae, the algae lives in a symbiosis, or that is a mutualistic approach towards the host plant it is living with. For example, nostoc algae, that is growing on the thalli of Anthoceros. So here, this association is mutually beneficial because nostoc fixes nitrogen for the Anthoceros, and Anthoceros mostly uses the actually provides the nostoc with a photosynthetic acid, photoassimilate. And another example is Anabina cicadae. It is growing on the root of the coralloid root of the cycas, but here the cycas provides a photosynthetic carbohydrate, actually the source of nutrient to the Anabina. In return, the Anabina provides actually reduces the atmospheric dinitrogen to the ammonia form. So this symbiotic association, we see that nostoc and various species of Anabaena and Chlorella, they are found to be growing in symbiotic association inside the thalli or plant body of other algae, of other thallophytes or the non-thallophytes. Now we come to the quiz part. Which kelp is the largest source of iodine used by the traditional tribe living around the world? Well, Saccharina latissima, the first option, it is one of the largest source of iodine that they were used traditionally by peoples living in the United Kingdom region, and also in the German region, because we see that the Celts, they are mostly found in the cold water region. So all the not only this Saccharina latissima, but also the other three kelp species, that is Laminaria japonica, Laminaria digitata, Saccharina japonica. All these four species of kelps were harvested for one or other use. And here the answer is the first option, that is Saccharina latissima is the largest source of iodine. They were the most common source of iodine used by the traditional people in the old times. With this, I come to the end of the video, and I have put the link in the description box of all the videos that I have been making. I have been making so far more videos regarding the regarding algae, and so uh, thanks for watching the video. And if you subscribe the video, you will be just getting the latest updates. For subscription, you have to just hit the button where it is written subscribe, and I have put all the links in the description box of the videos that I have been making. Thank you for watching this video.